Mark Messier, and you're listening to Blue Shirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers.
Blue Shirt Underground, motherfucker!
Can't be as a Ranger fan. Can't be as a Ranger fan. This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Blue Shirt Underground Show, Patreon exclusive Game 3 wrap-up show. My name is Jim, and as always, I'm joined on the other side of the window by the one and only Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening. Outdoors, no breeze. I've got Jen holding up wind screens on both sides of me to keep the wind down. The wind chimes are quiet. All is well. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. Chilling on this Sunday afternoon, and now we get to talk about Rangers hockey. So I'm doing good. Zuki just passed through the doorway, I see. So I don't know if that's a good omen or a bad omen. But the Rangers lost the game last night, Jeb, in overtime.
Feel bad for anybody.
What was that? I'm sorry. You broke up a little bit on my end.
Sorry, I said I feel bad for anybody that spent $3,000 to go to that game last night.
That's why you never know exactly what you're going to get when you go to a Rangers game or any hockey game.
Right.
And I was disappointed that the Rangers couldn't put their, I guess, their feet on the throats of the Devils. I think probably the game was there for the taking, but it just didn't happen. I've been a couple of social media sites that I have been to. Just want to reiterate, it's hard to win 3 games in a row in the playoffs. Very hard to do that. And but it was
even harder for the Rangers.
It's even harder for the Rangers.
The Rangers can only do it when they're down 3-1.
Right. That's when they come. That's when they
right.
muster up. But it was there. It was there for the taking, and I think that's what a lot of fans are upset about.
That's what I'm disappointed. That game was, it would almost feel better if they got walloped last night 5-1. But that game was there for the taking, and they didn't play well last night. At least in my opinion, I thought they left the foot off the gas a little bit. They didn't pressure the Devils the way they did in the first 2 games. A lot of people say they were a little too fancy. I don't maybe. I just don't think they pressed as hard last night as we'd seen in the first 2 games. Everybody wants to talk about this goaltender, Smee, whatever the hell his name was. I don't think the Rangers made life difficult for him at all last night.
I think
how many really good saves did he make last night?
I agree with
2,
you. I
3,
agree with you wholeheartedly. It's funny because the narrative that the announcers set up was that, this is a genius coaching move. Look at this kid. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And it worked because today the people I talk to who are not so close to the Rangers as we are and follow them were like, oh, that kid played great. You got to admit, And I said, no, I can't admit it. I thought they really didn't make his life all that difficult.
They didn't.
With the shots. And but you know, I won't give to give the Devils credit, but to give the Devils you know, the adjustments they made on the penalty kill worked great for them. And of course, Mr. No Adjustments, Mr. Bad Bench, Mr. Bad Wrench, did not make any adjustments to kind of counteract that, whether it's Mike Kelly or Gordon Murphy or whatever, anybody who's in charge of that. But really, you can't really mess with the power play. The power play has been brilliant in the first 2 games. They just didn't get a lot of good looks on the power play. Couldn't set up really. But I agree with that. After they came out and they hit well in the first period, I thought the first period was okay. But second and third, they really just didn't want to take it. The urgency wasn't there to like just take it. And they let the Devils hang around too long, way too long.
It was just kind of one of those games I felt like where you just kept waiting for them to really get going like they had in the first 2 games, and it just never happened. It just never happened.
I was hoping for maybe a greasy goal from the third or fourth line.
Right.
But the fourth line was pretty much not much last night. The third line had some relatively good gifts, but it really was a team effort. I felt like just not enough push. I mean, Artemi Panarin had some good shots that didn't hit the net, good looks. I'm not gonna fucking throw him under the bus because he didn't convert. It's just
no, of course not.
And you knew with 10 minutes left the way the Rangers were playing, they were playing for overtime. They weren't. Both teams were playing very, like let's not make a mistake that cost us the game. And I don't know. Maybe I'm 2 games to none if I were the coach. In retrospect, again, it's easy to Sunday morning quarterback this whole thing. Maybe you loosen things up, and maybe you try to put the nail in their coffin, but it just didn't happen. I rather would have lost in a regulation because the overtime loss is more devastating.
Right. It feels like it. Well, yeah, I mean, because the game can change at any moment, and yeah, just kept waiting for the Rangers to get going, and it just never happened. They had some chances. Panarin missed a couple of shots, but yeah, I just didn't think I don't know why why there was the lack of oomph last night, but it just wasn't. How anyone hearing weird sounds like a UFO is hovering over Jim? Oh, that's there's a train. There's a train going by. Maybe that's what you hear, but it's way behind me there.
And 5-on-5, I thought again, I mean, they didn't give up a lot of shots, the Rangers. That's why I was always confident that they could still win the game. It's like 20, you give up 28 shots in regulation or whatever it was about that. I mean, that's easy peasy for Shesterkin.
Right.
Defense, again, they did a good job in front of him. Weren't a lot of rebound chances. I don't know. It just was one of those games where the Rangers just, I mean, somebody else also, I mean, somebody other than Kreider has to score on this fucking team too. I mean, they got enough guys on this team that somebody else should be scoring. And the Devils just kept taking stupid, Ryan Graves, this guy's taking stupid penalties, and they couldn't capitalize. That's the crux of the game right there.
Right. And that's what we said. And that was what we said weeks ago, is that the team that beats them is going to be the team that figures out how to stop their power play. And that's what happened.
I really think it's a temporary thing. I mean, who knows?
I sure hope so.
I think so. I mean, the Rangers, man for man, have the better have the better team. They just need to get a little bit more. I mean, it's only one game, but you know what it is? They come home, the crowd is waving those fucking towels that they give them, the prop comics, the carrot tops that hand those things out. They got to do prop comedy, prop cheering. Everything's a prop, and you know how I feel about that. You don't need a towel. Yeah, and the make some noise thing, and just a lot of crapola. But but I was pissed when they lost. I mean, I'm not going to come out and rant about it's disappointing, but you got to understand this is such a long haul, the playoffs, and it's even a longer haul for the Rangers perpetually throughout the years. So,
There's an ebb and flow to every series. Sweeps are rare, especially for this franchise. So,
I mean, we were riding high, and I could see a lot of people were disappointed, but this is, as they say in the Mandalorian, this is the way. This is the way of being a Range fan. So, is tomorrow a must-win for us?
That's a good question.
I don't think there's ever a must-win for the Rangers unless it's an elimination game. They seem to be pretty resilient.
Bless you.
God bless you. God bless you, and may the Lord take a liking to you. I don't know. It seems like people, people are pretty. It says Dr. Darwin Bushman very upset about last night's loss. God bless you. May the Lord take a liking to you. My wife just sneezed from the other room.
Nope.
So
the women are allergic to our show.
Yeah, I don't know. Any times during the game stuck out for you?
Bad officiating.
Well, we got to talk about that.
I mean, how does Timo Meyer tackles our goaltender? Our goaltender fights back, and he gets the penalty, which costs them. Jack Hughes scores on that power play. I mean, that's again impact refereeing. If you're a good official, I shouldn't know you exist. I should not know you exist. I should not know your name. I should not know anything about you.
Wow, you got to know, and I'll get to that, the broadcast. Here's the deal. This league tells us game after game, we're here to protect our goalies. We are protecting the goalies at all costs. I don't care. You fart in front of the ref, the goalie, and they call a penalty. This guy falls on top of our goalie right there. Even if he doesn't push him, hug him, grab him, whatever he does, it's a penalty against him right away.
Right.
Whether Shesterkin should have, clubbed him 4 times with his blocker, I think it's, from a Ranger point of view, to me, that was justified. You can't fall in it. They're all about protecting the goalie, except when it comes to the New York Ranger goalie. Then he gets a penalty.
Right.
All of a sudden, they flip the script on you. Give me a break. And Jack Hughes scores a nice goal. And they're starting already. I understand it's the playoffs, okay? And you want to go, you pay your $400, you want to go boo Jack Hughes. But stop with they start with this "you suck" shit. I'm checking out. All right? Because the guy's a talented player. We got to give him that. But getting back to the other fucking thing, with you even touch the goalie, it's a fucking penalty. And this, no penalty, and it goes against Igor.
Right.
Horrible call. I mean, putrid call, and then of course, that's when they score.
Of course.
And
And that Timo Meyer, I'll tell you, I don't know about you, but I've had about enough of him.
he's become very irksome.
Not only plowing into Igor like that, but at one point he takes a good legal hit from, I think it was Lindgren. It was up high, but legal. He goes down like he's in the motorcade in Dallas.
Yes.
And, he's crawling on the ice. I'm like, come on. And then very next shift, he's right back out there. I'm like, what are you, a fucking soccer player? Come on.
Yeah. I thought yes, I agree with you. He can't take a legal hit. He's a big guy. He's known as a guy who's going to get in the front of the net there and cause some havoc. Power forward, if you may. And when he gets hit, he can't take it. Give it a break.
Right.
Yeah. I've had enough of Eric Haula. I've had enough.
Him too.
He's another dope. Yeah. I think Ryan Graves was he was being a bitch at taking like stupid penalty after stupid penalty. I was like, thank God we didn't keep this guy. He's dumb. But we didn't make him pay. Special teams, we didn't make him pay. That's why we lost. And and
Can't go for 5 on the power play. Not with that much talent on your team. You just can't.
And again, I don't want to use the word credit, but Lindy Ruff came up with some kind of scheme to stymie the Rangers. And they never countered it, or maybe it was too soon to the Rangers have been so successful in the power play. There's no way you were going to change things up at that point anyway.
Right.
And going back to the Smith guy or whatever his name is, everybody had problems with that guy's name. Fucking Chicken Palm was calling him Smeed, Ladislav Smeed.
He can go fuck himself.
I'm going to have to retract the statement that I made in the Blue Shirt Underground live thread. I kind of said it's not that biased. By the end of that game, it was unbelievable what I was hearing. First of all, that Sean McDontno, he don't know fucking shit. He's calling goals against average, ERA. He's talking about how they have 2 Swedish players and how it's good to have a teammate who's Swiss on the team, teammates who are Swiss. And I'm like, Sweden and Switzerland are 2 different countries, you fucking idiot. And as the game, I felt like, bad or good, it was all about the Devils. This guy in the regular season, this guy had this in the regular. The Devils only lost this amount of games in the regular season. We're in game 3 of the playoffs. The regular season means shit. Means absolutely shit. All those stats you could throw out the window. And I felt like, and the Akira Smith, whatever his fucking name is, they built that narrative from
save number 5.
Right.
Oh,
and
he looks pretty steady. The game's not too big. I mean, this was like 5 shots on goal into the game. They tracked every save. He's got 8 saves. He's got 10 saves. Come on.
I mean, it was really bad by the end of the game. For me, I was just like, because, I don't really believe in all this like conspiracy shit that like, you hear from certain people that the announcers are against us. But now I'm with you guys. I really believe that these announcers, they've got some bias. I don't know why. Could be Ray Ferraro was traded from the Rangers. But Sean McDontno. That's true, Jen. It was like a tracking COVID deaths. And it was just getting nauseating. Then I got to hear about Curtis Lazar and his wife and the difficult birth. What the fuck? I'm in the middle of a playoff series. I got to hear this shit.
All
I
right.
don't hear that from Sam and fucking Micheletti. Who gives a shit about Curtis Lazar? Swifty Lazar. I don't give a fuck. Oh, he missed this. Oh, the kid came early. What is this?
All it was missing was what she got for shower gifts.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they were registered. Can we go buy a present? Can we? They registered the babies on us.
And it was nonsense. The play is going on. I'm living and dying with every fucking puck exchange in this whole game from the start. And these guys are talking about Curtis Lazar's
Curtis Lazar's wife's pregnancy.
in the
Unbelievable.
shower and the
Right.
gift where we could register. It was a joke.
It's yeah. I mean, that's why like people, when we go into these playoffs or whenever, and there's an MSG broadcast and a national broadcast, and people say, "Oh, thank God I can watch a national broadcast and don't have to listen to Sam and Joe." You know what? There are things worse than listening to Sam and Joe. There are things that are much worse.
Sam, I mean,
That was as pro Devils you might as well have had Mike Emmerich and Chico Resch sitting there doing that broadcast last night. It was all Devils all game long. All game long. The Rangers were ahead 2 games to none in the series. It was nothing about the Rangers. Except to show 1994 bullshit during every commercial break.
right.
I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of the people watching that game last night weren't alive in 1994 at this point. I mean, come on. A lot of people just don't care anymore.
I don't care.
I mean, it's enough.
It seems like
It's almost becoming embarrassing because they show these highlights. And, they show the Devils winning 10, 12 years ago. They show the Lightning winning, and they show highlights from that. And then they show us from the fucking archives. I mean, we're not even on DVD. It's a VHS tape they're showing. Oh, and here's the Rangers doing it 30 years ago. Enough. It's enough. And I know Messier's on the broadcast, so they want to show it to pump him up and what.
Yeah, the whole cold,
Right.
Win. All right.
But it's getting embarrassing to me. Like Eddie said it 100 times. I think I want another one. I think 1994 was nice, but I think I want another one.
Yeah, it seems like to me now. It seems like a dream. I don't like. I was like,
was I really at that parade?
Yeah, like that was a long time ago, man. It's just I don't want to go there anymore.
Avery's sitting with Jen and I last night. She's watching the game, right? And they head into overtime, and she could feel the tenseness in the air, right? And she's like, I don't know how you guys do this. I said, well, you should have been around for 94. I said, I survived it. I said, but I was a lot younger then. I said, I was 24 and full of hope. I said, I just thought that would be the first of many cups I would see in my lifetime.
Yeah, I don't watch the in-between period stuff. I just can't take it.
I mute it. I did see Subban in the wrestling robe, but I didn't pay attention to it. He's a clown. He's a fucking clown. He's a terrible broadcaster, and he's only there because they know everybody hates him. It's the same thing with Paul Bissonnette.
Well,
he's just there because they know everybody hates him.
Well, also with the Bissonnette, it's a big chuckle fest on the board. Nothing ever gets said. It's just like, hey, Biss, that you miss paying for a lot of meals back in the day. Ho, 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 ho. They laugh for 20 minutes, try to get inside jokes on each other, and nothing is talked about. It's just like those. It's like going back to the fucking, I don't know, James Brown and not James Brown. What's that guy who does the football? Is that his name, James Brown?
James Brown, yeah, he's on CBS now.
Bradshaw and those guys, Howie Long. They don't say Jimmy John. They don't say anything. Who listens to those guys with their predictions? Nobody. I don't want to hear nobody. You know what I was though? I went back to. I was watching the US Festival in between periods, 1983. I was watching Motley Crue when they actually sang their own vocals, and Ozzy. I was watching that shit because I need something to calm down in between periods. I was a little bit anxious last night, but
And I mean, if you want to go back and look at maybe what the Rangers didn't why things didn't go well for the Rangers last night. Just look at only 19 block shots and only 23 hits. I think in game 2 they had 39 hits and around 30 blocks. So
didn't play the right way.
You add that, you add the blocks plus the hits plus the 0 for 5 on the power play, and there you go. That's all you need to know.
And it still took overtime heroics, if you want to call it that, for the Devils to win.
And another thing, Vonnegut. And I know this is an old argument, but you know what? It's going to be an argument as long as they play in that shithole. How bad was the ice last night?
Ice was horrible.
How bad was that ice? The Knicks and the Rangers and Billy Joel and whatever the fuck else they got going in that arena, and they still can't make ice. And I understand it's because the ice is on the 7th floor and the train station's underneath it. Well, you know what? This isn't the ECHL. We need a good ice surface. It's the fucking playoffs. I can't have guys slipping. I can't have my guys slipping and sliding all over the ice. Guys falling down. The puck won't settle down. The ice was horrific last night. Embarrassing.
I mean, back in the day, they had an excuse. The circus was in town.
Especially this time of year. Because this was circus time.
Right. Jimmy Carter was president. That was 1970.
Everything was horrible with Jimmy
Everything was
Carter.
horrible. Gas was
terrible.
Gas ration.
We had $12 gasoline. Everything was terrible. It was a crisis of confidence.
Right. And then you get this. It's 2023.
Right. I mean,
seriously. We're 23 years into the 2000s. They can't figure this out. Elon Musk can send a rocket up that lasts for like 5 minutes and blows up.
Send a rocket up just to blow it up, and they cheered us to blow it up, and we can't make ice in New York City.
Meanwhile, the Chinese figured this out like 400 years ago with a bottle rocket blowing up, and Musk can't do it. Anyway, I digress. But here's the thing. They can't get this fucking ice. They do a Winter Classic in Mexico practically now. But they can't do ice in a building in New York City. And it worked to our advantage. I feel like Devil guys were slipping all over the place. But then it started happening to the Rangers. And I was like, what? It was bad, the ice.
That Sean McDonough, what'd you call him? Sean what? McKnow nothing?
No.
Sean McDonough. At one point he said, oh, the Devils might need a new skate sharpener in the locker room. And I'm yelling at the TV, it ain't the skate sharpening, you dope. It's the fucking ice. It's terrible. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is New York City. This is supposed to be the world's most famous arena. And we can't have a decent ice surface for our team in the playoffs because the ownership doesn't give a shit about the Rangers. They don't care.
I mean, once it's 60 degrees, the ice turns to shit. I don't understand.
If there was a problem with the basketball court, one of those Knicks fell down.
Oh.
They blew that arena sky high for a brand new one the next day.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Knicks up 3-1.
I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it's just like me. I didn't even know they were playing. Somebody mentioned it to me today. How about those Knicks? I said, fuck that. The Rangers lost last night. Oh, what are you worried about? I'm not worried. It's just I would like to see them win. That makes me a lot happier than when they lose.
It's not that I'm worried. That's all I care about. I don't care about the Knicks. I honestly couldn't tell you what the Mets have done the last week. I know they've been winning games on the West Coast, but I couldn't really tell you what's going on other than they've
Right.
won. I don't care about anything else right now.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I can't focus on anything else.
Right.
I mean, sports wise, it's just there's only one game in town. Now, Jonathan Riggs has asked the question: why is PK cheering the Dribbles, a team that let his contract? I'll tell you why. He hates the Rangers.
Because he hates the Rangers, absolutely. And he knows that he knows if it's a difference between being anti-Devils and pissing off 800 people or being anti-Rangers and pissing off people all over the world, he's gonna pick the Rangers. He likes the attention. I mean, if he hits the Devils, who really gives a shit? What would be the loss?
There's no loss.
How many Devil fans did you see at the game last night? I counted 3.
There weren't many.
I counted 3, not including the Hughes family. Oh, Joe.
They were silenced. There was nothing from them. I saw a couple when they first showed like the people filling into the garden. I said, "Oh, there's a couple Devil fans. Maybe there'll be some contingent there, but they can't afford the tickets. Who can afford those fucking tickets?
Right.
You'd have to be the old man in Monopoly on the fucking chance card. Or what's the other thing? What's the other card?
Community chest.
Community chest to afford fucking. Those are the kind of people go there. A lot of young kids at these games too. That's another grumpy old man fact. I can't stand fucking 15-year-olds being at this game, but the diehard Ranger can't afford it. Who's paying those kids to go? The
Right.
Dreams.
And you know what? Here's another thing. This is what happens when we lose.
Yeah, I know.
You get nitpicky. You know what? Stop showing me pictures on social media of the celebrities that are at Ranger games. Stop. I don't care that Michael Che is at a Ranger game. All right, Brian Dayball was at the game. Okay, good. All right, great. But you know what? I don't care about these celebrities that nobody knows who they are. They showed John Hamm, who I thought was a Blues fan, but he seemed pretty pissed off about the refereeing last night, too.
Well, he went crazy on an offside that was an obvious offside. And I said, this guy
Maybe
doesn't know
he's
hockey.
adopted the Rangers. I don't know. But it was nice to see Don Draper there.
Yeah. I mean, what about Aaron Judge and Anthony Volpe there?
Please.
No?
Please. Is Aaron Judge really a Ranger fan? I mean, the tags were still on his jersey.
I don't know.
I mean, is he really a Ranger fan? Is Aaron what's his name? Volpe?
Anthony Volpe or something?
Is he really a Ranger? I want fans. I don't want celebrities.
But I was saying to
Tim
myself,
Robbins. Remember Tim Robbins was a fan.
Brandon?
Johnny Mac. They were fans. They're fans.
That's true. How about Liam Neeson? You think he's a real
Liam Neeson. He's a Ranger fan. I know he's a Ranger fan. I want fans there. I don't care what celebrity. Michael Che, who gives a shit? Nobody watches Saturday Night Live anymore. Nobody's watched that show in 15 years.
That's a good point. Good point.
Jim Belushi still on Saturday Night Live? I haven't watched it lately.
Yeah, but I was thinking, man, what a life these guys have. Aaron Judge and Volpe played a game that day and then got carte blanche at the Garden that night.
Free tickets, free jersey. They're not paying for these tickets.
And they're eating for free. They're drinking for free. It's amazing life.
I know Justin Tuck's a real Ranger fan. Justin Tuck doesn't count. Justin Tuck, I know, is a Ranger fan. He's been going to the games. He's been going to because he's not a Giant anymore, and he's still going to the games. He's still at the Garden at least a couple of times a year. I know he's a real fan. John Hamm, I don't know if he's a fan or not. Michael Che, I don't know if he's I mean, come on. They get free tickets. They get a free jersey. They get a free hat. And they put them on the screen. And they take their picture and put them on social media.
Well, who's going to show up at the fucking the Prudential Center for the Devils?
Joe Piscopo. Joe Piscopo and Joe Ganascoli from The Sopranos. But he'd only show up if the tickets were free.
I mean,
That guy don't pay for nothing, from what I hear.
yeah. I don't. I just would have liked to seen the Rangers, like you said, the hitting was non-existent in the second and third.
Right.
I felt like the fourth line was not doing the fourth line things that we needed them to do. I really thought the Rangers were going to get a goal, like a timely goal from a nobody, like not a nobody, but a guy that we didn't expect to score.
Like a Tyler Mott goal.
Yeah, like a Tyler Mott or
Braden Schneider.
Nico Mikkola or somebody. Some like, but they never got like multiple shots on that guy. I felt like it was like one shot save, one shot. Oh, he looks confident. Guy shoots it right into his glove. I'm like, that didn't take any effort whatsoever. And I'm going to say this. Glove saves are very overrated. They're usually embellished by the goalie. He does that whole fucking twisty, turny thing there. I feel like the guy should. First of all, the glove doesn't move. Today's catching glove does not move. It's just fucking solid.
Right.
It's stuck in there and ain't coming out. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate them when it's Igor. Igor played a good game too. They never mentioned him. They never mentioned anything about the Rangers, bad or good. And the Devils, whether it was mostly good, but even the bad stuff was all Devils. I'm like, what am I watching? A Devils broadcast here.
Right.
And stop referring to the regular season. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
No,
so I thought the third and fourth lines could have played better. Maybe that's why the hits weren't like they were. I don't think the Devils did anything especially better except just their penalty killing. That was it.
Devils looked terrible early.
Yeah.
They were really off. They looked very off their game early. Rangers didn't take advantage.
And then we could sit in here and we could sit. I mean, most fans would sit, or most podcasts would sit and bitch and moan about the call on fucking Igor for 3 hours and say how the refereeing is horrible, which it is. We all know that. The bottom line, you got to get more than one goal against the Devils, and it's got to be from some other people.
Right.
And they really didn't have the wherewithal to fucking just choke them out of the series. And I was upset when Hamilton scored. I said, fuck this shit. Turn the TV off right away.
Me too. I refuse to watch them celebrate.
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll see. Gallant as usual. I saw him today. He gave the team the day off today because for some reason he said that, because it was a late game too. That was another thing. Why are we starting at 8:00?
TV.
I mean, I know, but it's like midnight. I got to go to sleep.
Well, that's what always gets me is that, they start these games at 8:00 and it's for TV. But do they really think that people want to watch this game aren't going to watch it at 7:00 if it starts at 7? And the game doesn't start at 8; it starts at 20 after 8.
Right. Oh, at least we got to see Brancy last night. He did a fine
job. Fabulous, Sam. That guy's got some pipes, man. He's no Arlette. And you know what? Jen and I both heard. I don't know if you heard this or if anybody in the audience heard this. I never heard last night, but the crowd was singing anthem along with John Brancy last night. I did not know that. Jen and I both heard it. She said, I have never heard the crowd at MSG sing like that before. I said, no, I haven't either. Yeah, usually they're zoned in on interrupting it, which annoys the fuck out of me. Right. Which I'm not the most patriotic guy, but hey, just shut up during the fucking national anthem, asshole. Trying to listen to the fucking song. Yeah. So, I mean, what else is to say? I mean,
I know some of you guys are bummed out. I said Dr. Baldwin went into a deep depression, but dude, this is just the beginning. I mean, it's not. There's nothing's going to come easy in the playoffs, and we know the Rangers is the wrong team to root for if you want easy.
Right.
Complete opposite. And maybe they'll do what the Hurricanes did today. Hurricanes went into the Joe, the first playoff game hosted at the
There you go. From somebody at the game. Jeff Drexler was at the game and confirms.
Sorry, Jeff, you had to witness that ending. But that's good that you could corroborate that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the crowd was up. I mean, I knew that was going to happen. And, I can't stand I can't stand all the pregame chatter. It's a lot about nothing. I just want the puck to drop. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's all just filler.
I don't want to rehash the last game. I don't really want to rehash this. Let's just start the game and talk about the game, not about Curtis Lazar's fucking, bar mitzvah. I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear that shit. So,
I agree.
I think we just got to put it to bed and move on and hope the Rangers.
All we can do. Yeah. Tomorrow's another day.
And I'm not going to go and pick some guy to fucking whip the shit. I mean, I thought Barclay Goodrow's penalty in the first period was fucking stupid.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, that was dumb. And I'll call him out on it. Even though, I held up a shirt after game one of Barclay Goodrow. I didn't rip it up. I just said it's a fucking dumb penalty. You can't take dumb penalties in the playoffs. That's what annoyed me more was the Rangers couldn't make them pay. They couldn't make the Devils pay for their stupidity. And the over-promotion of that goalie was just ridiculous. But those are the minor bugaboos. Now we get him back on the MSG network, right?
Oh, Joe.
Joe. Dueling chants. I love them. No, I don't. I like Ranger chants. I don't like that. There wasn't many
there weren't dueling chants at MSG. There aren't dueling chants.
That's right.
Who's going to hear three people?
Let's see. Dr. Darwin is now confessing. What does he say?
My girlfriend doesn't understand why I slammed the laptop closed and storm out of the house in a huff, and I can't adequately explain it because of the language and cultural issues. I would pay good money to hear him try and explain this in Filipino or whatever language they speak. Try to explain the Rangers and the misery that comes along with rooting for this team.
It happens. It even happens up here in the good old U.S. I know Vinny Vasilino probably lost 5 hours of sleep over that loss because all it's going to be he's going to tell me 10 years from now, I'll never forget that Dougie Hamilton goal. And I'll be like, dude, they won that series 4-1. Why haven't you forgotten that? Because it was the Garden. It was 10:30 at night or whatever time it was. He'll remember every exact thing. That's the curse of having good memories. He's going to be seeing that flash. Oh, Dougie Hamilton, Joe, he struggled. Score. I don't know. It just. And now I was going to say the magical IBS Arena has lost some of its charm as the New York Islanders.
Just wait till they get a home of their own.
And
you'll
Carolina, and I didn't even know this. Carolina is an awful, awful road team in the playoffs. They haven't won a road game even before the Rangers last year, before Boston last year. It goes like all the way back to like Pittsburgh or some shit.
Oh, really?
They're terrible on the road. And of course,
the home team won all the games up to Game 7 last year, right?
Right.
In the Ranger series?
Yes,
right.
And then, of course, the Rangers in Game 7 in that glorious.
What a spanking. Fuck them too. Fuck that Carolina team.
Well, the Rangers will be playing the winner of that series. And I feel comfortable playing against either any either or. Looks like it's going to be the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are depleted offensively, without now Teravainen, who's having wrist surgery, and no Svechnikov and no Pacioretty. I think they got a good coach, but
Right.
the Islanders are offensively challenged. I don't care what you say. And they're, they managed to get lucky in game 3. They got some quick goals and whatever. I don't really care. I just want the Rangers to finish the job against the Devils and, come back and you win, and it's 3-1. And, Doc, you'll be okay. Just, stay away from sharp objects when you're
We
watching.
love you, Doc.
We love you, Doc. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all right. Yeah, I think there are several Rangers that can be idiots too. Goodrow can be an idiot. We know Vinny Trocheck can be an idiot. He'll take some dumb penalties, but in the long run, it pays off because they get under these guys' skin, and it winds up, like Vinny Trocheck. I don't remember, maybe because I was so focused on the Rangers last year when they played Carolina. I didn't seem to be annoyed by Vinny Trocheck. But now that I watch him as a Ranger, he is an annoying fuck to play against.
I remember him being involved in some stuff in that series last year. I don't really remember particulars, but I kind of remember him being a pest.
Yeah, he's an agitator. I mean, he's not at the level of Sean Avery agitator, but he's got that fucking smile. You just want to beat him up.
But I take less agitation with a lot more talent than just pure agitation.
Right. And so I'm still fairly confident. I haven't wavered. I was mad, but I think I'm over it. And,
I'm ready for the next game.
I don't know. If he was so good, why did they have Vanacek in for the majority of their season?
Right.
I just felt like they didn't really test him. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm giving you my honest assessment. No Ranger slant. I just feel like they never really got. Did I say, wow, this guy's playing like Ken Dryden? No. I see the Rangers take a shot into his pad. He make the save. Does that make you fucking George Vezina? Not to me. Sorry.
Right.
And I still think if they weren't, the Devils just did not generate a lot of shots on goal 5-on-5. 25 shots on most nights is not going to beat Igor Shesterkin. It's just not. It's not going to happen. It's not happening, hot stuff.
I agree.
So, that's.
Well, hopefully the ice will be better tomorrow night. I know the Knicks aren't home. There's no Billy Joel concert until Tuesdays, so
what's he gonna
hopefully we'll have. What?
When is he gonna hang it up?
Why should he? He can still sell that place out he plays once a month. He still sells it out. Why should he hang it up? He still sounds good. He still plays good. He still packs it in. He's doing stadiums across the country, for God's sakes.
You don't want to hear my response to this.
I know you're not the biggest Billy Joel fan. I get that. You're on Long Island.
I'm on Long Island. And then they're fucking playing that song at the Garden now, and everybody sings along.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Oh, that song goes on forever. I wipe my ass in the bathroom. He's telling you everything he's fucking doing. I mean, it goes on forever. It's a horrible song.
It's not a horrible song.
In my opinion, it goes on way too long, and it's just
la da 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 da.
What is this? Some kind of Irish shanty he's singing now?
La da 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 da.
You're a fucking Jew from fucking Queens. He's singing la da
What's that got to do with anything?
I don't know. He's doing la da da la da da like he's some Irish fucking tenor. But I hate the Joe thing.
Some Irish tenor. I
hate the Piano Man. That's one of the worst songs. There's another one. Is that the one where he goes, Captain Jack will get you high tonight?
No, that's Captain Jack.
Oh, God.
and take you to your special island.
There are songs I like by Billy Joel, but they got to be under like 3.5 minutes. Like Moving Out, I love that song.
Great song. Great song.
Right?
Only the Good Die Young. Great song.
Yeah.
So I like almost everything he's ever done. So.
And the one long song I like is Scenes from Italian Restaurant. Because it's got my name.
That's a long song.
I know, but it's got Brenda and Eddie. Even though I never knew a Brenda, at least it's Eddie.
Right.
It's all right. I just, you know what it is here? It's I guess like it was in Jersey with Bruce. Here there's like 41 tribute bands to fucking Billy Joel. They got that Big Shot. That's the big tribute band. Like Billy Joel endorses them.
There's a Billy Joel tribute band that plays here at the Steel Stacks all the time, right by the house. I've never seen them. I think they're called My Life or something. I don't know. I don't care what you say.
Have you ever seen the movie Step Brothers?
No.
Okay. Well, Horatio Sands plays in a Billy tribute, but it's only 80s. Billy Joe, and it's called Uptown
80s?
Girl. Uptown
That's
Girl
funny.
is the name of the band. And there's always some guy, play Piano Man. That's not the 80s. It gets all crazy. That's a pretty good bit. Yeah. So, I don't know. So that's all I got to say on this subject.
All right. Before we wrap up, we just want to talk to you guys about something. We've been looking through the Patreon, and as always, we appreciate everybody's support. But we've noticed that there's a lot of people who who either for one reason or another haven't donated in a long time. And if you can't donate, that's fine. We totally understand. But there's also, I don't know if it's an issue with debit cards or if you've just decided to stop donating. Either is fine, whatever. If you need to update your payment information, but Eddie and I have decided that after May 1st, we are going to anybody who's no longer donating, we're going to remove you from the Patreon group because we don't think it's fair to people that are donating every month and contributing. It's not really fair to them that people who've stopped contributing for whatever reason, it's fine. We don't care. And we appreciate your support. If you can't support us, that's fine too. There are plenty of people who've been listening to the show since the very beginning that don't support, and that's fine. We do the same show for them that we do for everybody. But for those that we get a report from Patreon and we see who's no longer donating, and there've been some people who haven't made a contribution in over 2 years, and we don't think that's fair to people who contribute every month because they're the ones that support the show and they're the ones that help us pay the subscription and pay for viewing party prizes and things like that. So after May 1st, when we get the report of who's no longer donating, we are going to remove you guys from the Patreon group. Check your payment information. If you still want to keep supporting us, that's great. We love it. We appreciate it. Believe me, we appreciate every dollar that comes in. So maybe your payment information's out of date. You want to keep supporting the show. If you're not supporting the show anymore and you just can't, that's fine too. But just understand that we will be removing you from the Patreon group after May 1st because that's just the fair thing to do. It's like
fair.
It's just like your Netflix subscription. If you don't pay your Netflix subscription, you don't get the Netflix benefits. It's just not fair to everybody else. And we're trying to do the right thing by the people who are contributing every month that have been doing so since we started this. So that being said, Eddie and I will be back with you guys Tuesday or Wednesday because we've got 2 days off before Game 5. So you pick Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. How about Wednesday?
Wednesday. All right, that'll give us a Tuesday night off. So we will see you guys Wednesday night with the Game 4 recap. Hopefully you're happier than this one. Thank you guys for all your support. We do appreciate it. We love you guys. Let's go Rangers. Let's get back
in there, boys and girls.
It's not a sprint.
It's not a sprint.
Remember, it's a marathon. All right, Eddie, always a pleasure.
Take care, my friends. Let's go Rangers. Let's fucking do it. Get some of that home cooking. tomorrow
Yes, sir.
night.
All right, we'll see you guys Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Let's go Rangers. Good night, everybody.
Good night.